When did you realize you could make it as a streamer? That's a great question. After going, wow, I think I've made it as a streamer. I think I can make it as a streamer. It's never once led to me going, okay, wow, now I can kick my feet up and just relax and chill. What do I do to maintain this now? What do I do to continue to push it and grow? I think the first time I felt like, okay, I have a chance at actually making this, I got rated by Harblue and Aimbot Calvin, and that gave me a taste of it, but it didn't really grow my community. And then I got rated by Tim the Tatman in 2018. And then from there, I actually like grew a decent community from that. I feel like that like was a really big catalyst to the streaming side of things. And then I got signed to Cloud9. That's when I was like committed to, you know, okay, I'm gonna take a break from school and pursue content full time. But at the time, I wasn't on like a crazy salary or anything. I don't think I even had a salary, which isn't a bad thing. I was a very small streamer at the time. Well, that was a win-win situation. When I got signed, I thought, oh yeah, I could make it. And then I kept pushing. Honestly, in like 2019, end of 2019, early 2020, I looked at everything. I looked at the finances. I looked at how much I was like making off of everything. And I kind of had to have this conversation with myself and go, okay, realistically, this is not enough money for me to consider this a career. And if in the next like 6 months to a year, nothing crazy happens, I need to, you know, go back to school and try to find a normal, you know, 9 to 5 type of job. When I set that clock on myself, that's when everything started changing. I had spent enough time as a full-time creator, even though I wasn't like making a full-time salary, making under minimum wage for sure. I really need to focus on YouTube. I'm not growing organically on Twitch. Instagram isn't helping me. TikTok isn't helping me grow. And that's when I just said, okay, I'm going to invest all the money that I have left into hiring an editor. And I hired Aves, who's now my full-time editor. He's been with me for almost 5 years now. I basically just started heavily investing into YouTube, and because I saw that as like, if I'm going to grow for somebody like me, I need to heavily invest into YouTube. And now I'm pretty much more of a YouTuber than I am a streamer. It's not that I don't love being a YouTuber or making YouTube content. You know, I like being a streamer more. If I could just stream and play video games, I would love to do that. But realistically, that's just not the job. I make YouTube videos and I make challenges and I do everything really fun. And I do really enjoy it. Don't make it sound like I hate being a YouTuber. Initially started as like a means to making this happen and making everything actually possible. I'd say a few months after that, that is when I really felt like, okay, I have actually, not only can I make it as a streamer, I've actually made it as a streamer. Valorant came out, YouTube started blowing up. From there, you know, I grew to be one of the top Valorant creators. Still obviously trying to grow into other things and not just Valorant in terms of like monetary success, which is definitely how I would measure success as a content creator. Unfortunately, as much as you don't want to look at the numbers and look at finances and stuff, you kind of have to measure content creation from monetary success, because you could have 1 million followers on TikTok and not make any money. 6 months into 2020 and COVID, I think I had like 4,000 subs on Twitch in the first like 6 months of Valorant coming out. Like I was having like 4K subs a month. That was a crazy time, bro. That was a crazy time.